takes. Ah, no, wait, no, I didn't miscalculate it. Sorry, because bishop e5, knight c3, rook d8, takes, e4, and then I get an ice skater on the back rank, and that's game over. So no, I didn't actually miscalculate it. So it's still probably quite good then. I mean, bishop e5 is almost required because there's this huge problem with f6, and both diagonals are under big attack here. Play knight f3. I'm gonna turn the music is okay, I guess. It's actually, this is a weird song, so I'm gonna take my headphones off too, just for the moment. Well, it's gonna sound weird because now I'm talking and I hear myself. Okay, let's play b3. Keep this very slow, very dry. Also, I love our ratings: 25.94 and 23.13, plus 55 for a win, minus 101 for a draw, minus 257 for a loss. It's pretty funny. Okay, let's see what Humpy does. Will she play like e6 or d5? Now, what I remember from when I played her in aim chess is that she was a little bit on the slow side. Actually, this is too weird without headphones. Too weird to talk. Okay, let's see. So I can play g3. I can go bishop b2. Plays b6. And now what I don't want is I don't want symmetrical. So like if I go g3, she might go g6. I don't want a symmetrical structure, so I'm trying to figure out how to get a non-symmetrical position. I think I'm going to go here. So if I go e3, she'll probably play e6. I can play g4. I played this in Tilted Tuesday, or not Tilted Tuesday, Saturday's SEC Grand Prix, where I did a quick fling on the king side. Now, in a match situation, it's a little bit harder to play like that because in matches, you don't really want to take huge risks. Like individually, if I do something stupid and I lose, it's like, okay, big deal. I lost the game. My opponent played better. But in a team situation, if you self-inflict it by going wild, it's quite different. So I'm going to go g3 here. I'll let her take if she wants to. Can also go c4 maybe. I'll pre-move because it's a safe pre-move as well. But I think because she fianchettoed with the bishop, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna get a non-standard position here. Funny thing is, I had something quite similar to this. I think against maybe against Harika Dronavali, another Indian player. I think I had some rapid game against her or something similar to this. In the meantime, though, let's see. I guess I will just c4 is always a move here. Can also play like d3. Can also play just c4. I think I'm gonna castle maybe, or do I want? Okay, let's just castle. Let's not think too long. Actually, funny thing is I can't see my. I'm gonna move this over. Okay. I can play c4 here. d3, d4. I'm trying to think of how to create an imbalance because c4, d5 is pretty standard. c4 is actually, I think I'll go c4. c4, c5, d4 is actually, I think, considered to be pretty decent. And if d5, you just trade and go like knight c3 and d4. Should be reasonable here at least. So far, pretty standard is what I would say. Pretty standard. I think c5, d4 takes d6 is pretty much the traditional line. I don't remember exactly how this line goes. It's been a while since I've played this. She's thinking for a long time here. Okay, she does play c5, so I'm gonna play d4, queen d4. It's gonna turn into something that I've had before. Actually, I think I've played this. I've had this structure, this position after takes d6. Many times. I've had it against Magnus Carlsen. I think I had this against him in the BN Bank Blitz in Norway, or not BN Bank. Sorry, that was 2009. I had this against him in this this Blitz tournament. I think it was in Gjøvik, Norway in 2000 and I think it was in December of 2008. I had the structure against him there. I've had this against Gashimov. I think I also had a game maybe against Ivanchuk in the structure with d6, knight d7, where I was white in Cap Dag in like 2008 maybe. I think that's when it was. So I'm pretty familiar with this position. Now, black is normally supposed to go d6 on knight c6, queen f4, rook d1. It's very hard to play, although I think there is still a knight c6, queen f4, queen b8 line. So it's still pretty complex. But normally d6 is the move to play. d6 and knight d7. We'll see if Humpy does that or if she goes for the other line. But I think traditionally this is considered the more solid than knight c6. Because knight c6, queen f4, queen b8, rook d1, I think it's supposed to be pretty favorable for white, as I recall, from old theory. but we'll see what she does. Okay, she does go knight c6. Okay, interesting. So I'm gonna go. I mean, queen f4 is fine. I'm trying to think if there are any other moves that make sense here. Queen f4 is pretty dry, but I think it's the right move. Maybe it's not, but it feels like the right move. With like rook d1, pressure in the center, knight e5. We'll see what she does here. Pretty stable so far, though. Pretty stable game. Black can also maybe just go d6 and rook d1 and then like knight e8 or something. But I think I'm almost certain that queen b8 is the right move here. Unless my memory is failing me, which is always possible, I'm pretty sure this is the correct move. But let's see what she does. This d5. Okay, now the d5 I didn't think was the right move. Huh. Okay, if knight c3 d4 can't, well, knight c3 d4 rook d1 is still probably fine. Wait a second, this doesn't look right somehow. d1, bishop d6, queen h4, queen b8, knight e5, bishop d6, knight c6, bishop c6, queen h4, bishop e5, knight c3, or queen d2. Knight e5. Feels very slightly wrong, but I'm just not sure why. Why does this feel wrong? Something about the way she's played this feels very wrong, and I just can't quite pinpoint it, unfortunately. I mean, I have knight c3. I also have rook d1. Trying to recall. Queen g5, h6, queen h4, d5. What was she, huh? Pretty dry, though. This is actually kind of annoying to have this opening. I don't go rook d1. I mean, really, the only question is knight c3 or rook d1. There's the only two moves that make any sense here, so that's what I'm trying to work out. I think rook d1 must be right. I mean, I guess bishop d6 is also a move too here. And queen h4 maybe. I am behind in development by one tempo. That's the one thing black has. If my knight was on c3 here, I'd be doing well. She does play queen b8. Now I can also just play like knight e5. Knight e5, bishop d6. Takes, queen d4 looks fine. Queen h4 maybe looks fine too. Knight c3 is also an interesting move. Knight e5 looks like the right move, but can't necessarily claim an advantage after knight e5. Bishop d6 takes, queen g5, h6, queen d2. It's not all sun and roses here. I can obviously trade and play like knight d2. That's very, very dry though. Think about this. I don't really want to trade. I can trade, go knight e5. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go for this. I'll pre-move because it's safe. She'll almost certainly go bishop d6, but I trade and go like queen c1. At least that's my idea. And I figure, I feel like there should be pressure here somehow. Maybe not, but I feel like there's pressure on this diagonal because the bishop's no longer on e7. That's my guess, at least. But we'll see very soon. Okay, she's deep in the tank here. I think my intention is bishop d6. I'm going to take, and then go queen d2. Threaten to put pressure on the pawn on d5. I also get very quick development with knight c3. So I think this should be good for me, but I could be wrong, obviously. It's very possible I am wrong. I'll pre-move bishop e5 because it's a safe pre-move. I'm almost certain she'll go bishop d6, but we'll see. If she doesn't play bishop d6, I think she's just worse, though. Because I'm threatening also to take the pawn on d5, so I don't really see any other good moves here. Knight h5, maybe knight h5 is a move, but I think I can even just go queen f3 and take. Doesn't look right. No, it doesn't look right at all. So my guess is she probably has to take on e5. I don't see anything else that really makes sense here from a human perspective, at least. Maybe computer says there's something good for black, but I don't see it as a human. We'll see what she does. I'm up a minute on the clock already. It's probably the real critical moment of the game, though. I think this might be the critical moment. And so I think Humpy is smart to use a lot of time here because everything's kind of going to simplify in the next couple of moves. Like if she takes, there's a simplification. If she goes here, there's a simplification. Like there's going to be some sort of simplification into a middle game or an end game here. And you would think with 10.5 minutes, it's a good spot to use like 3 to 4 minutes because this is the critical moment of the game. What Humpy does here probably determines whether she'll be able to find some smooth way to make a draw or whether she's going to struggle here. But I do like my position, actually. I like it quite a bit here. I think it's pretty good. Maybe it's not great, but it looks good. Okay, she's thinking for a long time here. I wonder what she's thinking about. She's looking for a move other than knight takes e5, I guess, or a move other than bishop d6, I guess is the question. But nothing else really looks right to me. I mean, maybe she can take and go queen c8 and try to hang on. That is another option, I suppose. Doesn't look right, though, at all. Especially with, like, rook c1 and rook c4. It really doesn't look right. So let's see. Okay, so she does it, so I take. She'll take. I think I go queen d2, bishop e5, knight c3, rook d8, f4. Yeah, this is correct. I'm gonna go knight c3 and then f4, I think, is my idea, at least. Maybe, actually, I should have gone to e3, maybe I played that too quickly. I think I should have gone to e3. I played that too quickly. I should have gone to e3 there. Because now there's bishop e5. And I think I miscalculated this line with rook d8 here. Takes. Ah, no, wait, no, I didn't miscalculate it. Sorry, because bishop e5, knight c3, rook d8, takes e4, and then I get an ice skater on the back rank, and that's game over. So no, I didn't actually miscalculate it. So it's still probably quite good then. I mean, bishop e5 is almost required because there's this huge problem with f6, and both diagonals are under big attack here. If she doesn't go bishop e5, I'd be a little surprised. Not really sure what else she has. I mean, bishop e7 is a move, but it feels very passive. But really, there only are two moves. It's bishop e5 or bishop e7. Those are the only two moves for black here. We'll see which one she does. Okay, she does bishop e5, so I go knight c3, develop the final piece, try to bring the rook in. She's also lacking in development here. The queen and the rook are misplaced. Queen b7, I thought allowed like some... I guess queen b7, I just take. And if rook d8, as I said, I had this whole line with rook d8, takes, e4, and then you lose to the back rank, and it's GG's. So probably she can't go rook d8 here. But the problem is also this pawn is very soft. Like, this diagonal is a big problem here for black. Like, a big problem. Not even kind of a problem, a huge problem. If d4, I just take. There's no knight e4 because my bishop covers. So you can't even push d4 here. So I think I'm doing pretty well. Wouldn't go so far as to say it's a big advantage yet, but I think it's on the edge here. It's very close to being really bad for black. Very, very close. Very, very close to being a real problem now. I mean, 94 is also maybe a move, but it looks kind of maybe not so bad. Queen C2, maybe not so bad. I guess 94 I'll go here. Still big pressure in the center of the board. Hard to play. I assume the candidate moves for black are 94, rook d8. And I'm already hard pressed to come with any other moves. So the only two moves that really make sense to me. So we'll see what she does. I don't like her time usage here. Her time usage, she's starting to get a little bit low on time, and she didn't really clarify the position enough. There's still technical issues, but it's not like we're in an end game. So it is kind of, she is getting a little bit too low on time here. Okay, so she does play rook d8. So okay, so if I take, just take with the, okay, so if I take bishop d5, knight d5 is fine. So let's take. Oh wait, did I miscalculate? Oh, did I just miscalculate this? I thought I could take and check, but she's king f8. Oh no, I take, and I'm winning. Okay, that's good. So if she has to take with a pawn, I think this is already very sketchy. And as I said, knight takes, e4 is just winning. So that doesn't work. Pawn takes is definitely a move here for black, but I feel like it's starting to go in the wrong direction a little bit here. I've got like rook c1. Feels like it's going the wrong way a little bit. See what she does. Down to 6 minutes, so I mean it's not clear what she's gonna do. Looks very problematic. Okay, so she takes with the pawn, which is what I think she had to do, but now I mean I feel like I should be doing very well here. I just have to be smart about how I play this. But she's got an isolated pawn. So let's figure this out. Rook c1 is very almost too logical. Rook c1 d4 takes bishop c3. It's a free pawn, I think. Takes check takes. Yeah, it's a free pawn. So let's just go here. Because now that I know that d4 I can take trade and take. I'm just going to be up a pawn. So she can't push the pawn. Knight e4 is not a move. So my next move is probably going to be knight b1 and try to trade off some bishops, open up the file, and then play against the isolated pawn. Knight b1 or knight a4. I don't know which square I'm going to, but one of those two squares with the knight. Tough position to play for black as well. Very tough position. Let's see what she does. She's down to 5 minutes also. It's really going the wrong way, I think. She's gonna have to find something next 2 moves. Otherwise, I think I'm gonna win this game. Because this pawn, it's an isolated pawn, and we're gonna see an end game where I'm able to just gang up against this one pawn. And probably it should win me the game. 5 minutes and counting now. Tough spot to be in. Very, very tough spot to be in. $440. Let's see what she's gonna do. I mean, it's just a very tough spot to be in. I mean, it's just hard to play. Very hard to play. Essentially, when we go back to the opening, the big thing that you don't want to do is, like, whenever you end up with these structures, the worst structure you can end up with is what we have here, where you end up with this isolated pawn that can be attacked. If the pawn can be blockaded, it's even worse. But if you get this isolated pawn where there's no pawn supporting it, for example, it's very hard to play. It's very, very, very hard to play. She made a move. She played h6. Okay. Plays h6. Okay, now it's kind of just a passive waiting move. Create some Lufthansa for the king on h7, but the heir should not really matter here. Now the question is, do I have something better than knight b1 just to trade? Can I play, like, maybe play an improved version with e3, knight e2, knight d4, get a blockade? Not crazy to play e3. Is it best? Actually, I think e3 probably is. I think e3 knight e2 makes more sense. Then I get the knight right to the squares I want immediately. d4 and f4 are the two ideal squares. If I go to b1, I can reroute it, but it's too slow. So I can play an improved version, I think. With Let me just make sure. e3, d4, the same thing I just take. Or is it? Or is it? Or is it? Because if I go e3, d4, takes, 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 takes. Check king here, rook d2. If I push the pawn, there's a knight g4, and then f2 is under attack, so maybe not. I mean, e3 is what I want to play, but I don't know it's actually working. Rook d2. It's not actually working. That's very annoying. I mean, obviously after the game we'll do some analysis and check. But I think my analysis is correct here. I think e3 does allow d4, and I can't allow d4 here. Yeah, I think it does. So I'm gonna play the. This is not what I want to do, but I think. I think I kind of have to. If I can't go e3, f4. F4 is a move. Not crazy. I don't know which one's best. So I'm gonna play the safe positional one with knight b1. I'm just gonna play the safe one. Just play against the isolated pawn here in the center. It's probably not the best way to play it, but I don't know. She's low on time. I figure any endgame should be bad for her. Just feels very hard to play. Okay, now I can obviously trade. I can also go knight a3, knight b5. I'm gonna go. Is d4 a threat? Is d4 actually a threat? Maybe it is. It might be a threat. Not thrilled by this, but I think okay. I think I'll just go here. Then blockade the pawn. She can't push. So I'm gonna blockade. Try to bring the knight back into the game, and feels pretty good for me. As long as you can't push this pawn. This bishop is bad because it's walled behind the pawn, but it's passive, but also it's stuck guarding it. So I want to go like knight c3 and e3 basically. See what she's gonna do. I mean, knight e4 is a move, but then queen b2 looks good. She's also way too low on time. I mean, her time situation here is also, not to mention she has no development. This queen and this rook are really misplaced. Okay, she goes queen d6, so probably I should play knight c3 here. I have to make sure knight e4 is not a problem, but I think I just go queen e3 or takes. Yeah, let's just go here. I want to go knight b5. I can always go e3 here to consolidate. Very, very pleasant position for me now. I guess I'll pre-move. It's a safe pre-move with queen d4 here. Looks very good for me. Looks very, very good. Let's see what she's gonna do. She does have knight e4, as I said, but I think I can just trade and then take and then take. Maybe play the two rooks end game. See what she plans. Down to 257. Gonna be very hard. Very, very hard to play. Okay. Should have had the pre-move on. E4 is now a big threat because of the pin. E4, E5. Rook C8, I have knight B5. Yeah, she goes queen E7, so she's trying to salvage this. I don't really want to play E3. Bishop H3 is an interesting move to cut off Rook C8. I can do it for the tickle, maybe. Don't love Bishop H3. E3 is obviously very solid. I don't really love E3 either, I have to say. E3, Rook C8, Bishop H3, Rook C5, Knight A4. Looks pleasant. Knight A4, Rook C7. Think about this. I have 10 minutes. I've got all the time in the world, so I should definitely use my time. Because the way that I actually messed up the game against her on the, I think it was aim chess, or I forget which event it was I got way ahead on time. I got a winning position, but then I started moving too quickly at the critical moments when I had like 5 extra minutes. So I don't want to do that in this situation. E3 looks right. E3 rook c5, knight a4, 6 knight c3 maybe. How do I improve is the question. How do I improve the position? Can't move my knight. Can play rook d3 and rook d1 maybe. It's kind of interesting. Rook d3, rook e3, maybe take the file. And bishop h3 is also a move, but it's not the move I want to play here. Oh. Think for a second. Actually, wait, e3, rook c8. Oh, wait, no, sorry, I'm stupid. Yeah, of course I go e3, because if rook c8, I can just take the pawn. Takes, and takes. Yeah, I'm stupid. Because now the pawn's guarded. There's no pawn hanging at the end here, since I pushed it up. It's not on e2, it's on e3. There's no queen e2. So now rook c8 just loses to knight d5. Loses maybe too strong of a word, but it should be bad. See what she does. Also, again, I put the pawn on a dark square too, so you'll notice that this bishop, it can never really attack anything now, because the pawn's on a dark square. So it's also important to put the pawns on the opposite color of the bishop as well. So it's just a very multi-purpose move. Now she does hang d5. The thing is this actually winning is the question. The funny thing is, I mean, I can take, and I'm going to be up a pawn here in this endgame. Takes. Can I win the endgame or not is the question. It's a really serious question. I think I can. I think it's the practical decision. It's got to be the right decision too. Yeah, this has to be the right decision. Because I take and I take on d5. And if rook c1 also, by the way, it doesn't work. This is a check on the king. So she's gonna have to take. Then I'm gonna take, and then takes, and then bishop d5. I mean, this looks very good for me. Maybe it's not easily winning, but it's a pawn. As they say in the old Russian school of chess, pawn is pawn. So it's an extra pawn for me. Doesn't mean I'm winning or anything, or cleanly winning, but with 2 minutes on the clock, down 6 minutes, it's going to be very hard for her to maybe even try to mount a defense against this idea. Yeah, she takes. I will take. Take. Rook d8 loses, by the way, to bishop f7. Very important because of the fossil. So she can't actually get even this rook d8 e4 line. And once I move the bishop away, technically, I mean, it's very hard to believe that this isn't just losing. I've got a wooden shield, by the way, of course. It's a very nice wooden shield. Also, my king is pretty safe. Pawns are well placed. If she plays this perfectly, I suspect she could still maybe draw this, but technically it's going to be a big ask with 2 minutes on the clock, especially. She has rook c2 maybe. But I'm not feeling it. I don't see how Humpy can really defend this. The only way this is defendable is if queens are off the board. If we reach a rook ending, there are good chances for her to maybe draw this game. But with queens on the board as well, it's asking a lot. I don't think she can draw this. Actually, I mean, I'll say this. I don't think Magnus would draw this if he was down the pawn here in this situation either. So, okay, so now I reach a big question mark, which is now we talk about this annoying little thing called endgames. I can go into this endgame where I get 4 connected versus 2 wides. Now the question is that actually winning? Is the question. Queen d8 and rook d7 is probably a technical win, but if I'm wrong and it's not, it also becomes much easier for black to play. So I probably don't actually want to do that. I can play a4 here, I guess. I can play rook d2 as well and play queen n8. I don't want to play a straight queen endgame right now because of the time situation. So it's a big question. Do I think that ending is winning or not? It's an interesting question. I'm pretty confident that it's winning. So do I go for what I think is a textbook win with rook d8, rook d7? Or do I try to just keep pieces on the board and blitz her off the board? I think I'm going to try to go for what I suspect is a technical win. I think this is technically winning. If it's not, it's not. But I'm going to go for it. I think this is technically winning. Just my guess. I think this is technically winning. I go here. I hit both pawns. She's going to have to take. But the reason I'm going for this is because I get 4 pawns connected versus 2 here on the king side. That's the reason I'm going for this. I think this is winning. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and it might not be the right choice, but based on my understanding of rook and pawn end games, the fact that I have 4 connected, I'm going to get a connect 4 here in the center, should be winning. Okay, so I go here. She can't push because I take. And if she takes, I take. So I think this is winning. I'm pretty confident this is actually just winning. But we'll see. It's a very important move because now you'll see that pawns are glued. So if she pushes, she loses this one. So she can't push, but if she takes, she loses this one. Okay, so now I assume that I want to now I need to play on the king side, start pushing these pawns up. Question is, which pawns do I push? My instinct says h4. My instinct. Yeah, my instinct says h4 has got to be right. And just king g2, king f3. Maybe even just b4 at some point too. Okay, let's go here. Problem is, again, there's nothing black can really do. So I'm just going to march my king up and then push these pawns up. Let's go here. Just a tough position to play because these pawns are just glued. They're just completely glued to the squares. Can't push without losing this one, so you can't push. Can't push this because I take. So they're fixed, and if you take, I take. So your rook is just kind of glued too. So let's go here. I'm going to go e4, f3, e5, and I suspect this is just cleanly winning now for me. Should be winning. Hard to believe that this isn't just winning for white. Again, because I have 4 pawns versus 2 on this side, and I'm getting connected pawns, this has to be winning. Also, if she goes over, I start going after these pawns too now. So she can't even move the king. Yeah, so I take. Probably the b5 allows rook a6, and I have e4, f3. I mean, it's just... I'm pretty sure this is just lost. Very important that I can protect my king with these pawns. And also, there's no g5 checks the pawn in h4. So this looks very technically clean. Because I'm also going to go rook c7, c6 next move as well. And then king g5. Like, I just want to go here, check, move the king, and then move my king up and gobble. And I'm pretty sure this is just winning. Now, black could somehow magically transport the rook behind the pawn and start pushing. It'd be winning, but with the rook in front of the pawn, the rook's in the way of the pawn, you can't do much. If the rook was behind the pawn, you could just start pushing it all the way down. Then there would be chances. Okay, she wants rook f5, so I will go e4 here. Take away the check. Very important to take away this check. And now at g5, I just take. I'm going to go rook b7, get my rook behind the pawn. The rook is glued, and this should just be GG's pretty smoothly. Okay, she goes g5, so I take. She'll take. Can I actually go rook f7 here and win a king and pawn endgame for the fans? Check, take, b5, f4, b4, e3, b3, d2, b2, c2, b1, king b1. I think it works, but I want to make sure first. I don't want to just blitz it and then find out it doesn't work. Okay, let's think. This would be very embarrassing. I go here and I just miscount it. So let's see. Takes, right? King e6, king f4, b5, king e3, king e5, f3 is winning. So check, take, b5, f4, b4, e3, b3, d2, b2, c2. And if check, king g6, check, takes, b5, f4, b4, e3, b3. Wait, okay. Check here, takes, b5, f4, b4, e3, b3, d2, b2. Yeah, it's winning. Okay. Yeah, it's just winning. Break good times, come on. Also, though, she can get the pawn to h3, I realize. So she can actually get the pawn to h3 in this endgame. So hopefully she'll play it out, because actually it's very instructive why this is losing. Actually, she's not going to get it now, I guess. Maybe she can't get it anyway, because I always have f4, but there was an instructive endgame with a king and a pawn on h3 where I get a queen, which is winning. But it's not going to happen now. Let's go here. Of course, I'm going to go f4, e5. go here. Important that I start pushing this pawn, by the way. Now I get a connect 3, and this pawn holds against this too. So I go here. The connect 3 should be good. Everything's chained. Let's go here. I go, and now I just go back, stop the pawn. Can't go king c4 because then the pawn is free to run. And now I'm gonna go king b3. I guess I'll pre-move it just for fun in case she tries to trick me with h4. But this looks very good. She resigns game. All right, there you guys go. We get the dub. Let's pop up the chat now and everything else. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, we get the win. Please show us why I didn't go queen a8 after the game. Seemed like a free rook. Queen a8 where? Yeah, clean game. I only missed f4 after h6 at some point. I need a Moran team for the tier 1. Oh, I missed something somewhere. Fair enough. There we go. I missed something. Okay, what did I miss? All right, so okay, so we get the win. You're asking, so let's do some, let's just click on the let's do a report. Actually, let's do a report. Let's see what the report says. Let me change the scene. What does the report say? What was the accuracy? Oh, my accuracy was not all that good. It was only 93.5. My accuracy was not great. I thought my accuracy was good. What were the mistakes? I only get 93.5. 80. She got 85.3. I mean, I think you guys can. Let me just. You guys can't see it. Queen 8. I get a free rook. No, I don't get a free rook. What are you guys talking about? Where was I winning a free rook? I was never winning a free rook. Queen 8, king g7. You guys. Queen e4. Queen takes queen. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was a free rook. You guys, come on, free rook, please, you guys. Thank you for that. I missed a free rook. Yeah, exciting, you guys. Free rook, yes. Anyway, yeah. What did I miss anything specifically? I guess I'll go back to the live chess just to check it here. Did I miss anything is really the question. Okay, this was all pretty normal. I guess let's stop sharing as well. Maybe I missed something, but let's see. Let's see. What did she do wrong? Let me click here. Okay, let's see. So she played knight c6, queen here. Apparently rook d, rook d1's right. Knight e5 is right. Oh, this actually is a very clean game by me, oddly enough. Looks like very clean game. Queen d2. All right, let's update the score. By the way, I don't have the other results, so let me just update my score for starters. Okay. Knight b1 missed a win. Wait, what did I miss? Oh, f4 is actually good. As you guys probably noticed, I wanted to play f4 in the game, but then I didn't do it. I wanted to do it. Okay, so Gomes won as well. Okay, 1 second. I wanted to play f4. You guys definitely heard me. Like I said it in my analysis. I wanted to go f4, but I thought d4 is a little bit loose. This is just winning. Takes. Oh, because this is just winning. Really, rook d2. Oh, okay. Computers are just too good. There's bishop b5 check here. Whoa, they had a go cool for the 5 gives, and there's some bishop d3 and rook c7 and bishop c4. Okay, computers are annoying. So f4 actually was good. Okay, so knight b1 was not best, but it still was better, as you guys see. But yeah, this is good. Yeah, this is just a blunder. So it's actually just a very clean game for the most part. And then I do this, and this is just clean, right? Probably it doesn't like my play in the rook and pawn endgame. That's my assumption. Probably it doesn't like my play in the endgame, but I think the endgame was just winning, right? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it never improves. Yeah, it never improves. Knight takes c6 was brilliant. I don't know why knight takes c6 was brilliant. I'm trying to figure out what else can I play besides knight takes c6. Oh, I 99.4. Oh, it changed. Okay, wait. Let me Let me go back. Let me pull it up. Let's click on okay, let's see. Did it update? Let's change the scene. Okay, let's see. Oh, it changed. Oh, never mind. Oh, okay. So you guys, what can I say? I played a good game. Not even 100%, 99.4. So what is the one missed win? And so basically the reason it's not 100 is because I missed the win without going F4. If I got F4, I would have had a 100% game. If I had gone F4, I would have had a 100% game. Yeah, if I played one wrong move. If I go F4, I have a 100% game. Oh, that's so disappointing. That's so disappointing.